Hey everybody, it's free to play bust with expedition number 171. Let's get to it. Something cool called it. Interesting. All right. Well, these are all pretty cool champions. Um, so okay, all of these are good. Um, uh, I think we can immediately just kind of roulette this misfortune. I do love a misfortune. I think she's one of the great champions in the game, but these cards are just garbage. Pocket Aces is like the very bottom of cards that like I'm okay to have in my deck. Hunting Fleet also playable, but not particularly good. These aren't as bad as things like Mushroom Cloud or Monkey Business or Guile, but they are pretty bad, and so I'd prefer not to be starting out with these. Okay, and then here, I think Lelouch is the actual best of the three. This is just kind of everything you want to be starting out with Lucian. The Fleet Feather Tracker is just one of the top tier one drops. Dawn Speakers is a pretty fantastic epic to be picking up in this style of deck. I would just recommend you're going to see a Shadow Isles champion in the second pack, and I would just take it if he's able to pick up Blighted Caretakers. It's just such a big boon to making this deck good, and so hopefully you fall into oh, come on, bud, come on. Hopefully you fall into a Blighted Caretaker pack. Or champion pool in the second pack, but even if you don't, I think you just really want to be taking Lucian, probably or I'm sorry, taking the Shadow Isles card. It has to be like 90% of the time. You can just kind of roll the dice if you want to just take whatever champion you think fits best, and then hope to find a Shadow Isles pack in the first 6 cards, or in the first 6 packs, right? Pack 6 is the cutoff for finding your third faction. Um, you can. That's a little greedier than I'm usually willing to do, and I think this pool is good enough to where you don't really need to be doing a bunch of greedy things. Um, but nonetheless, we're going to take this Sejuani. It's been a while since we've drafted Sejuani, um, and this looks like a pretty good start to what she's trying to do. And so I'll scooch over onto the site and get this pulled up. If you're not familiar, it's ftpbus.com. It's where I compile all of my expedition stuff. It's got the tier lists, all of the YouTube videos I post are in the gods, the set reviews we just started with Call of the Mountain. Should be getting some new set reviews here recently. They kind of said that the set 2 of Call of the Mountain was coming out on the 14th of October, and so could be just be baseless speculation, but it's been it comes back quick now. If they're on this 2 month set cycle, these new cards come out very quickly. But the thing we'll be looking at here today is the Expedition Helper. We're just going to scroll down to Sejuani. This is Raiding Party, and they all both versions of Sejuani kind of play the same way. The kind of the idea that you're doing with a Raiding Party itself is this is a card pool with Sejuani and Gangplank. They both level up by dealing damage to the enemy nexus, and the way that you're supposed to be doing that with Sejuani is with these overwhelms. If you notice, essentially every unit in this card pool has overwhelm. Looks like Ember Maiden's the only one that doesn't, but she does directly just deal damage to our opponent's nexus, and that's kind of the idea with pulling that off. Unless you're in another faction that can specifically damage your opponent, you're just never gonna flip Sejuani unless you're getting to like turn 10 or turn 11. It's just too hard to get her to reliably flip if we are dealing damage to our opponents on their turn. So we'll kind of see if something along those lines falls out in the second pack, but just know that's kind of the idea with Sejuani is you're trying to level her up with these overwhelm units, and so otherwise it's a pretty straightforward pool. It doesn't have any early drops in it. It doesn't have any ones or twos. The curve here does have a 2 in Ruthless Raider, but just has the 1. And it just really builds up the curve from there. And so what this pool is good at is getting into the combats with these meaty units, and then getting a little push through damage with the overwhelms. You typically want to draft this and just look to draft a really overwhelm heavy deck, but you have to be kind of mindful of that. You can't really build these decks that have 3 Sejuanis, like say two Spirit Walkers, 2 Ancient Yetis, 2 Scar Maiden Reavers. That's all just way too expensive, right? And so the key typically with Sejuani is really balancing out her curve. But also of note with her, just because we're taking her with our first pick doesn't mean we have to build around her. She is a pretty excellent support unit. She's just well statted at 6 cost. She provides a lot of interaction with her frostbite vulnerable thing. There's a lot of decks that are super happy just to have a Sejuani in it, and the cards that we're picking with her are pretty powerful cards to be starting with. And so I feel like a lot of times I just pigeonhole us into thinking that we're just drafting whatever we take from the first pack. We don't have to do that with Sejuani. She supports particularly well. We don't have to build around this. Actually, all of these champions support particularly well. Miss Fortune maybe less than others, but you're always happy to have a 3/2 quick attack for 2 mana in your deck, and so Lucian plays pretty well in just about everything. Here we're taking the Sejuani, and then seeing what we're getting offered up here. Okay, an interesting set. Here, I'm going to just take this Miss Fortune. I'll return to talking about that here in just a moment. But, the way I look at both this Anivia pack initially are like, these cards are fine. I'm not like super stoked about playing with Sejuani and Anivia since we're going to have 4 6-cost champions in our deck. We're really intent on building around, if we're going to build around Sejuani, we're going to build around 3 of them. You can't actually build around Articuno, and so that does, immediately plant us in a spot to where we have to play 3 Sejuani, and we're going to have 4 6-cost champions with, 2 7-costs and a 5. It's just way too high on the curve to be starting with. Okay, and then down here, kind of a similar problem with Shen. He is cheaper. These cards down here are cheaper than what shows up with Anivia, but these don't play too particularly well with Sejuani. Like Shen would be kind of okay, if we're pulling off some curve where we have like one of these overwhelm Poros into Shen, like it's not the worst, but the combos down here aren't that particularly good. And then kind of in a similar vein to with Anivia, you can't build around Shen. We've tried and tried and tried. It just doesn't work. He's a fantastic support champion, not a champion we can actually build around. He needs some more engine cards for this to really pay off. And so kind of in the similar vein as to where, I'm completely fine with just building around Sejuani, but we don't get any options if we just take Shen. Because we have to build around Sejuani at that point. And so that brings us back to the Miss Fortune that we're about to take. It's unfortunate to see her as the low score on the champion pools here. I'm going to have to disagree with that one. But there's kind of 2 things that we get out of this Miss Fortune. The first one is if say we're going to build around Sejuani, which is fine if we're going to follow this raiding party theme and we want to actually get our Sejuani flipped. Prowling Cutthroat is the easiest way to do that, and Miss Fortune is also very good at leveling up your Sejuani. Just attacking with any unit and getting that tick for free. Oh, Katie headbutts. Like she plays towards that particularly well, and so the other thing that I'm pretty happy about Miss Fortune with is we can actually build around Miss Fortune if we want. We can just say that we're going to try to build a Miss Fortune deck. If we want to pair it with Targon or pair it with Demacia, both of those would be fine. And a full Miss Fortune build around is pretty happy to have, some of this top end, like Sejuani and Ancient Yeti, are these big beefy overwhelms, are things that Bilgewater certainly doesn't have, and Demacia doesn't really have either. Demacia has some big bruisers, but it doesn't have any big overwhelm bruisers. And so, yeah, we have a lot of options coming out of this pool. Double Up is a pretty reasonable closer with these big beefy overwhelm unit decks. And I think all in all, this is a pretty reasonable set. But we'll get her pulled up on the site real quick. This Miss Fortune is where are you at? Moonlit Heist. This is the new Miss Fortune. I don't know why it has an actual million cards in it, but there's a few different things we can do with this. The Moonlit Heist pool itself, what it is kind of structured to do is Diana has extremely good 1s, 2s, and 3 drops, but then can't really do anything else. And this is kind of set up to play out like a sort of a fishbone style deck, to where you're flooding the board and then playing kind of like one engine card to really make all of those units pop off and trade up. In this case, Miss Fortune is your pop off and trade up unit, right? You're just going to flood the board with a bunch of little turdy 1-drops. Your opponent, probably can't favorably block them without units that cost an additional 2 or 3 mana, and so you're getting a lot of trade ups because of her flip ability, or her hero power, whatever we call this passive ability in this game, where she deals damage to your attacking units. So that's the idea with Moonlit Heist. This pool in particular also has this sub theme of I call it like the 1-drops draw cards deck. I don't have like a real good idea as to what we call the name. Typically do it with a Twisted Fate, but the idea is that we're going to play a large quantity of cards and not necessarily high quality. So we're here to just be dropping a whole bunch of Crackshot Corsairs and Jagged Butchers on the board. We spend all of our mana every turn. We try to empty out our hand, and then we fill back up with Black Market Merchant and Pilfered Goods. It's a pretty powerful strategy. Pretty happy to pull that off as well. That style doesn't really work with Freylord, so we would have to kind of ignore the Freylord cards that we have, because they're just too cheap to be pulling this off. There are some great 1-drops in Freylord, like the Poro that makes Poros and Omen Hawk. It's just they don't show up frequently enough to be able to really pull off these ultra aggressive decks, and so. We'll see how this goes, whether or not we end up building around Miss Fortune, building around Sejuani. Pretty cool to do either, but I do really like having these starts to where we have options, right? If we take Cloning Program in Nivea, our option is building around Sejuani. If we take Shield Wall Shen, our option is building around Sejuani. But if we take this Moonlit Heist Miss Fortune, if we build around Sejuani, then she does complement her well. Or we could, just build around Miss Fortune, and Sejuani doesn't complement as well the other direction, since this tends to be a focused on a lot of ultra cheap units, but she does provide some top end that these Miss Fortune decks typically don't have access to. All right. Oh god, monkey business. So, interesting set. I'm not opposed to taking Targon cards. If we're in Sejuani, we're trying to pull off this overwhelm theme. Then adding in the Nightfall 3-cost dude is a pretty welcome addition, and it does have a lot of great early game drops that the Freylord side doesn't have access to, but neither of these are what we really need. We're really going to be avoiding expensive cards in this run if we're going to build around Sejuani. It's just, Rummel is fine, but if we're going to have 3 Sejuanis and a Yeti, and we'll probably pick up like a Alpha Wildclaw along the way or something, it's just way too much to start including Grandfather Rummel at pick 3 in the run. And so here we're just going to take the Poro and the Elixir. This probably is going to push us towards playing a Sejuani build around, because I feel like a lot of these Raiding Party packs are going to start showing up. But we'll just have to see how that pans out. No, boy, that panned out interestingly. We can certainly pick up this Solari Soldier with the Sunburst. This is just kind of like everything we're looking to do here. It's going to add Targon into our deck, to which we're pretty happy to do. It's going to add one of the premier 1-drops in a deck that has a lot of curve issues, and then we just get one of the premier removal spells in the format. And so I'm pretty happy to pick this up. It is a reasonable set down here with the Jagged Butcher and the Jaw Hunters, but I think I really just want to go out of my way to pick up this removal spell, and I also want to try to see if we can't find some of this this early game Targon that we're looking to pick up. The thing that does end up kind of worrying me here now is that we we might have spread ourselves a little bit too thin on these themes. I'm not real sure. I am pretty happy to pick up this warning shot pilfered goods. I don't feel like we've really solidified ourselves into just playing this Sejuani build around, but both of these play pretty spectacularly, regardless of which of these we end up in. If we end up diving in on Miss Fortune or diving in on Sejuani, both of these play particularly well there. Okay, so as these go, I don't think we can be picking up Yordle Grifters in our 3-faction deck, so I'm just going to go with the cheap ones here and the Bull Shark and the Hired Gun. I think this is a pretty easy set to take. Okay, these cards are all pretty bad. I think we just have to take the Make It Rain Pale Cascade. It does really help towards this Sejuani theme if we end up doing that, and it also helps with the Plunder theme. So I think it's a pretty reasonable set of cards. A lot of these down here are just garbage. Monkey Business is unplayable. Pocket Aces is borderline unplayable. I just don't really want to deal with those when we have some quality choices down here. Okay, interesting set. I think we want the Soldier and the Tayari. I do love me a Spacey Sketcher. I just don't like it when we don't have generated cards to be discarding to it. And I think it's fairly easy for these kind of decks to be getting some value out of Tayari. I do like playing Tayari into, say, like Mighty Poro and just making these gigantic overwhelm units that can survive multiple combats. We're not opposed to picking up a Battle Fury along the way, but we can't play Faces of the Old One here. We'll take these. Okay, this is kind of an unfortunate set. I mean, it's never unfortunate picking up Solari Soldiers, but this is not really a top-tier combat trick, but these other packs are just too bad. Monkey Business is unplayable. We're not going to have Nightfall units, so this guy isn't important. Sleight of Hand is also unplayable, and I do like Elixir of Iron a lot more than Sunblessed Vigor, but it's not worth picking up a Sleight of Hand for. Okay. All right, well here, I think we want the Flash Freeze Alpha Wild Claw. I think we kind of have like a decision to make. I think we've really positioned ourselves to actually be a Miss Fortune deck here. And so this is kind of close. I'm not like real stoked about jumping in on these warning shots when we've only picked up one pilfered goods, but it could work. And I'm trying to kind of like line up Chum the Waters in my head that, you know, this is still just like a 5-attack overwhelm unit, and that plays a lot towards what we're actually trying to do here. I think I've kind of like been evaluating Chum the Waters kind of poorly in recent memory. And so I think this is kind of like the real kind of like defining pick of what we're going to end up doing here. If we're going to just end up with this like Miss Fortune build around, then I want the Alpha Wildclaw Flash Freeze. I'm going to want this just extra bit of top end. Not a huge fan of Flash Freeze, but it is a reasonable combat trick. And then if we want to build around Sejuani, then I think I want the Overwhelm unit with the Enabler. And so it's pretty close. I think I'm just going to take the Sejuani cards here with the Chum the Waters and the Warning Shot. Okay, well, we are at least going to get to pick up another pilfered goods, and I am pretty happy to take these Ancient Yetis. It's one of the overwhelm units that I prefer when we end up just playing it on, say, like on like turn 6 for 2 mana. It's a pretty good deal. Okay, there's more pilfered goods. I think these are what we're going to have to take. This hasn't really been a Zenith Blade deck, so I've been okay to see these go. Skelecorn is not playable. Not really looking to have these battle scars kind of things, so we're just kind of stuck with our third pilfered goods in a scrap shot. I shouldn't say stuck with pilfered goods. It's always just so powerful. But it's now that we've picked up so many of these and we're about to hit a black market merchant, it makes me want to just kind of like push back into just being a Miss Fortune deck. We have to kind of ignore that one pick, you know, we kind of made that defining pick, and then we just have to push away from it. But here the Merchant Riptide Rex are too good to pass up. Happy to snatch these. And I think we're going to be doing this. I think we need to accept that we're going to be, kind of this one drops Miss Fortune deck that closes out with this top end. And so I wish I would have had Alpha Wild Claw over this Chum the Waters, but I am kind of glad we did get that second warning shot. And so it didn't play out too horribly there. But these were very happy to pick up both of these ones. Okay. I think this is pretty reasonable as well. I'm a big fan of these Mighty Poros. I think this is how we're going to be closing these games out. And these overwhelms do play particularly well with Miss Fortune, just getting these kind of free ticks onto our opponent's health, right? Because let's say we attack with our Mighty Poro into our opponent's 3/3, and then Miss Fortune does the point of damage to face, but then it also does the point of damage to the unit, which lets the overwhelms get in for an additional point of damage. And so I'm pretty happy to be picking these up. This is good. I like the hunter, but our top end is good. Yeah, I think we're happy to be doing that. Okay. Yeah, we bounced around back and forth a lot with what we wanted to do there, but I think that turned okay. It's like just my big worry whenever we're like interacting with Sejuani here is that we're just going to pick up too many expensive cards, and so the not picking up expensive cards and Miss Fortune strategies both play pretty well together, and so I think we navigated that reasonably. With these twos, we don't have a lot of twos. We only have the two that we actually want to play here between the Raider and the Hired Gun, but we kind of want to one drop a little bit more than we want Hired Gun. But picked up our one. I think we have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We only have 6. We have 9 because we have elixirs and such. Okay. There you go.
Raise your weapon, Sunwood.
Fun and interactive Targon cards here.
Success gets you noticed around here.
We're fine to just continue on this aggression. There's a chance he plays a card that this can't attack into, but there are so many Bilgewater cards that just don't play into this board well. Here, I mean, we're getting our Sejuani ticks in. Not a bad start.
I've whipped up something special.
Sure. Feel like it's about to rain. It looks exactly like what this play is.
Give it a whirl.
Well, perhaps not. Sure.
Come on, give it a try.
Okay. So let's see how this pans out. We drew a whole lot of top end here, so it's kind of awkward for what we're trying to pull off. I think I'm okay with just trying to put some damage onto. Oh god, no, shit. God damn it. Well, I guess that happened. There's no undoing those misclicks. But back to what was happening here. I think this is how we want to go. If he wants to put 2 ticks on his slot bot to not kill our unit, that's fine. If he wants to trade here, that's fine. Then this is going to overwhelm the damage that should have got us an additional card off Pilfered Goods before we overclicked it and couldn't stop. Sure. You got it.
A game.
Let's add in the Pool Shark. We can play just about everything in our deck now, since we've already drawn so many expensives. And if it's something we do or don't want to play, we can also just kind of pivot with the Abyssal Eye. Pretty cool just going wide. Still pretty cool with that? Probably not. I'd rather just trade. I don't want him drawing cards, right? There's absolutely no chance that his deck has better late game than our deck. It's just 100% Bilgewater has no access to top end. Like, the Abyssal Eyes are as good as it gets. He might have some additional sea monsters, but in general, like he's not going to be able to compete. Oh, and then him deciding against attacking is fantastic for us.
What did we get?
You own what you take.
Excuse me. Slotbot went big this turn. That's for sure.
Enough stalling!
Sure. Deep yet? Nope. This can be a little unfortunate if he has a salvage. There's a pretty good chance, like, he drew a card that he can't actually play here.
Stand and fight!
This should be pretty safe. Just get in with this as well. I think we do. We're gonna fill out our board. I think this is another one of these blocks to where. Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's another one of these blocks to where, you know, if he wanted to put this slot bot in front of our pool shark, that we would just be happy to be getting these chunks of damage in. Sure. Watch this, he's gonna make like a 2/7 a 2/7 thing next turn.
Oh yeah!
Oh yeah.
I never miss.
Okay, our ideal here is we're going to be doubling up either a slot bot or long tooth, and then just getting the kill in next turn. Okay, get these blockers out here.
Son?
Can't have combat tricks here either. Bilgewater doesn't have combat tricks. We should be pretty safe to close this out next turn. That's it. Okay. Let's see if we can't pop this before he goes deep. This is a little bit dangerous, but this is going to be big next turn. And his board is extremely weak to... his board is extremely weak to Miss Fortune.
What did we get?
Yeah, he's ready to be on defense. How does this go? Also kind of cool with just scrap shotting something. I think we're okay to let it go. Like, what happens if we just attack with the Poro and then these guys, and then we could follow up with Black Market Merchant? I think that's okay.
I'm one of the good guys.
Miss Fortune may not survive to the next turn for us to get a Riptide Rex going, but I mean, we do also have 2 warning shots just hanging out in these 15, so not unreasonable chances that we draw ways to get the interaction going.
Trick shot.
Ooh. Not you, Miss Fortune.
Keep trying.
You're also just
Came a long way
like a
for
pilfered
folk.
goods away from from decking. You're getting pretty close. We're gonna get one off the merchant. Draw another 2 out of there would be a pretty big deal. Okay.
Love ya.
Surrender to the melody.
Sure.
Don't ask where it's from, ask how much.
Okay. Maybe we'll high roll Riptide Rex next turn.
Oh yeah.
Get that 1 in 7 chance, or three shots at a 7 to hit face. Almost a coin flip.
So much to play for.
Captain's orders. Bullet to the face.
Kind of skeptical of what's happening here, but they're just Crackshot Corsairs. This could just be kind of spewy. They'll just block everything.
Denied.
Prove your worth.
Wait a minute.
Might be a little risky throwing the Sejuani out here like this, but sure. Just if we can survive this damage, then we're just in such a good spot to close out the game next turn. Like it's kind of awkward just throwing our Sejuani away like that, but I think we're just so extremely likely to just end it right here.
Never stop shooting.
Missed.
Treasures of the ages for
We're not going to get the damage in with the Rex.
They
We're just
can,
looking to
and they
clean up
have.
his board. Sure.
Remember me, you bastard?
No.
There'll be blood in the water.
Like it was a lethal. Looked like as far as it goes, we got 2 onto. We hit the powder keg and the merchant. Is that enough to kill? Oh no, it's just how much. It's not in total. I have a hard time reading what this is doing. There's 3 going into Gangplank, so he's gonna die. He's gonna have a smooth, so I guess we can look like this. So, stop trying to analyze and just use the Oracle Eye.
Cowards!
Okay. All right. Here's a big open for you, friend.
You win.
You won't feel it at first.
Give us some room.
I'm not done yet.
Gotcha in my sights.
You gotta be putting stuff here, man. You gotta put your cards in front of the big ones. Okay, it's negative
Love ya.
with this.
Play on.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I think we're just gonna continue down this misfortune path,
That's why I'm the
especially since
captain.
we picked up all the pilfered goods and then the one black market merchant. It just seems like how we want to do this. What a weird ass set of cards. Why are all these cards so bad? Like, I was happy with the Bilgewater we picked, or the Targon we picked up to this point. Our Targon's just 3 soldiers, a Pale Cascade, a Sunburst, and like there's one other card somewhere, but Sunblessed Figure. Oh, it's just, I guess it's just the one that's the priestess, but I think, I mean, these are going to have to be fine. Um, I'm not, you know, my monkey business is clearly just worse than all of this. The soloist I'm okay with, but I just don't think we want to be building to Sejuani. Diana's not an option here. I don't think she's an actual, an actual build around champion, especially when you're not already in the Nightfall deck. So we continue on with these misfortunes. Excuse me. I don't know. I don't think you're supposed to get allergies in the fall, but I'm allergic to Kansas City 100% of the time anyways. It just seems like they've gotten worse in the fall. My car is just completely covered in tree goo. So, all right, reasonable start. But I mean, if we're going to talk about the fall, it's 100% hoodie and shorts weather, which is the actual best weather of the year. So
I'll be
pretty stoked for that to be a thing for a week. I have enough subscribers now to where somebody has to be in the Midwest, and they can attest to the extent of our reasonable weather seasons is very, very small. Here we have to drop the hired gun. If he's gonna get the support attack in on top of our cutthroat, then he's gonna lose his priority to it.
Make it worth my while.
No, please.
Okay, then kind of unfortunate. Wish we had a little bit more board than we do now. We can. Well, we can add some board. I guess we're just not going to be adding Miss Fortune this turn. Interesting. Okay. Definitely glad we didn't have Miss Fortune this turn now. Okay, let's get this merchant in.
Treasures of the ages for a price.
Interesting card for our Go Bod deck here. And we even have some cards we can activate with this, so that's always a perk. Okay. You can attack into our Pool Shark if you want. I'm also cool with just passing with 3 spell mana if he's going to try to get cute here. That's a combat trick of some sort. You could trade combat trick for Pool Shark. We're pretty okay with that. Sure. I'd say attacking with this one. Okay. I'll fall for it, whatever it is. So that seems a little aggressive for my tastes.
Looking for trouble? It found you.
Okay. And how greedy are we ever willing to get here? By attacking with Miss Fortune. I'm probably just not willing to do it. Zenith Blade. There's just too many cards that make it go wrong with her.
Time to make some coin.
Okay. Well, with just getting this challenger out of here at some point. Oh, not yet. Okay. So you're in danger, Miss Fortune.
Mwah.
Purify. That'll save us. Here, let's go ahead and get that out of here. Okay. Make it rain. That'll save us.
My heart and sword for Demacia.
Okay, let's go ahead and ace this Garen. Um, Pretty cool to just get that out of here. And then I also want to we're about to start like comboing with this this Miss Fortune Sejuani. This Make It Rain is going to hit him for a point to face, and then we can warning shot next turn to flip this Sejuani, and then you know our Miss Fortune's going to start pinging face and getting these Sejuani flips going. This is a pretty good spot to be in. So now, I mean, he can play a unit behind, but Sejuani's just going to frostbite it whenever we attack. So it should be pretty awkward for Rodeo here.
Ride onward.
Love ya.
See, pretty cool interaction, huh? Okay. You served us well, Miss Fortune.
Hell of a day.
I think how we want to do this, we're going to go ahead and just try to pop this. As it stands, we have a great open. I think what's going to happen is we're going to have to chum the waters Morning Light next turn. This should be okay. Perfect. He's playing cards. Now we're gonna get this great silence in here. So it also cuts out the additional card draw. You can still survive this. I mean, you can have a second combat trick, but that means he's not adding to the board. Sure.
A little luck
You got
for
it.
those who need it. Sapphire, gem of our divine patron.
The wings! To me!
Let's see if we find a better unit to chum the waters. We're gonna have this just big old attack coming through this turn. And the other thing that we can line up here is this whatever dude having overwhelm. We can just basically set this up to where this overwhelm hits, and then the Sejuani will get to frostbite something, and so we typically want to just put her immediately after the Longtooth. I have to imagine this is just too much for him to take, though. Yeah, 15 overwhelm into 5 healthy units he can't back to back.
Bristle, attack!
He didn't play Zenith Blade, though. So, I mean, he has something. But even a +3 health from like a Blessing of Targon or whatever it's called won't survive this.
The Winter's Claw triumphs!
Okay. Interesting. The Crescent Guardian is just a strict upgrade over the Mighty Poro, and I think that's what we're going to be looking to do here. The Cutthroat's just one of our premier 1-drops we're never getting rid of, the priestess we're kind of fine with. We don't really need this kind of effect with all of our pilfered goods, and so I mean this is an upgrade, right? If we play it without overwhelm, it's just the exact same thing. We don't have any poro combos, and then it has the chance to get additional attack. I mean, I don't mind if I do. Yo, Aurelian Soul. Curious how this pans out. Probably just all, probably 100% Leona attack. But, oh, that's not the goods we're looking to start with. Okay.
We playing bilge rules, son?
I want to start with this. We have a lot of reasonable draws that we can actually play. It's not the end of the world. Like, you know, we want to be getting the value out of these, but typically if, you know, we draw and miss with this, it's okay. It's not like we're behind a card. We just played a understated one drop. Sure.
Bask in her radiant blessing.
Let's get these damages in here.
What's this?
Back, heretic. Have faith. First light illuminates the
Right,
land.
well, we don't have an answer to Leona, so let's
Behold
just
the
go ahead
sun's holy
and
light.
snatch off this pilfered goods and see what comes of it. Okay, alright, well, I'm not upset to be picking up Rommel against this Invoke deck. Should be a pretty good closer. We also got to Behold the Infinite here. We got lots of tools to do cool things with.
A beam of light to pierce the heavens.
So here I'm going to Behold the Infinite. I want to see if we can't find an Obliterate. Nope. Can do things with the Warrior. I think this is who we want here. Living Legends is just a little bit too expensive, and I'm not like super excited about running that
Young Atreus was it?
that one drop into a big Leona. Sure. Not a lot to be done about that. Then we have to open. Can't have our dude be getting stunned here. Then do we just want to go big? I think we just have to go big. It's combat tricks and such out of this, but I think it's okay. This also cancels his Daybreak. Sure. Yeah, I think we want to bank. I'm also pretty content with just doubling up on Leona. She can survive it. It's certainly a thing, but let's see if we can't go ahead and take care of this. Okay. He's invested a lot of cards in this, and it breaks his Daybreak chain on the Zenith Blade.
Blessings from the sun. To shine like the sun, you must burn.
I do
like
believe she shouldn't be getting the Daybreak since he had to play that thing. Apparently I was wrong. It was the first card he played this turn. Don't really want to add any of this, but I mean we don't have any spells to be adding to the board. Rommel's going to be our boy next turn.
Where do you stand on cold shots?
We just want to add everything. Sure.
Blessings from the sun.
All unbelievers will see the light.
Should have sequenced
Answer
this
to
differently.
me.
We want to be blocking here.
The guilty
This is
will
okay.
burn. Warriors in.
Eyes up here, or I'll cut him out.
Do we prefer to just play Sejuani? It's not showing. I thought he picked up another Zenith Blade, but it's not showing anything up here. I thought it usually showed them when they put them into their hand. I think we can wait a turn on Rummel.
Bow to no one.
So this way, even if he gets a stun on one of our big boys, we can still chunk this big damage into Leona. There goes his Daybreak. Okay, that turned out fine, I think. Well, less fun than I would have liked.
You won't feel it at first.
Proud warriors of the sun's true light.
Success gets you noticed around here.
Okay. I think we're still okay. There's our Leona answer, should we wish to play it.
No better place than Targon.
I think we wish. Okay. Easy game, boys. Easy game.
We survive.
We played more of the Leona cards than he did. You must have missed our previous video. I guess it'll be coming out tonight. Oh man, this is a Riptide Rex Sejuani pack. I still think we just want all these misfortunes, but if there's ever a reason to pivot, adding a second Riptide Rex in our deck with 2 warning shots is a pretty good reason to not play 3 and 3. I think we'd be okay with this. Like once we get to the trade picks, if we're able to say pull out Chum the Waters and like 1 Ancient Yeti, I think that would be pretty cool. It's not even that bad. Okay. So it's very rare when we don't go 3 and 3, but I think when it comes to units as powerful as Riptide Rex that just close so many games so easily, when our deck is already so built to just get these plunders, I think we're pretty okay with picking that up. Feels blasphemous, boys. I feel just not taking the third of a champion feels real bad. But you know, this is what we used to also run into with Darius. Is you know, we just didn't play a whole lot of Darius's. Excuse me. We would typically just plan on playing 1, and then depending on how our curve looked, we might pick up a second one. Never played a third. Kind of look at the same way here. That was kind of awkward. I mean, we don't want to keep warning shot. We don't have a whole lot of just early game dudes, but
We playing build
this
rules,
is fine.
son?
We want to play this, so if we can open, then we can still get those
Trick
hits
shot.
in. It's just going to be an awkward game.
Smell that?
Sure.
A fight's a cooking.
Again, it's not the end of the world to lose this Crescent Guardian, but we do hate just seeing these potential cards just go away for nothing.
Bless the faithful and
I want to start with this. Might shut down his whole attack. I don't care to take 3. And this is a pretty reasonable Chum the Waters, I think. Just getting us a big attack onto his war chefs. Could have technically planned on Elixir of Ironing the long tooth, but that doesn't seem like super value positive. Why? Is he trying to plunder on us? Oh, I guess just to get that kill. Okay.
Heard there was a little fella asking for me.
Remembrance. Oh, he was playing Lux. Luxheimer with Miss Fortune. That's interesting. Just trying to pull off a do nothing here. Okay. I'll pay full price. Sure. You got me. You got us.
What is it?
What can we pull off here? This is just the continuation of this super awkward draw. 2 hits in with Sejuani. It's drawn so much utility this game. I think this is a safe hit. As it stands, none of his board really interacts particularly well with this. I don't think he ever just takes the damage, but I'd be cool with it if he did. Here, I would like to see him just like spend some mana.
Everywhere I go,
That's
someone follows.
that's certainly a way to spend some mana. Maybe I didn't want to see him spend some mana. I think we could be okay here.
Confine and contain.
You don't know what you're doing.
I was kind of half tempted to make it rain, but I don't think that's really what we want to be doing. Let's do this. Let's add Yeti. We'll still have a Elixir of Iron in case he tries to pop off like 6 mana worth of spells here. This feels like a barrier, but I don't want to be taking these damages. Oh, this is back to back. Like 100% this is back to back.
Where you going?
So we'll take a 6 hit. Nope, he just holds on to it. Okay. Which way is this going? Transforming our cavalry into his 1/1? Okay, nothing we can do about it.
I've been hiding my light too long.
I've always been a fun guy.
Sparks is a big boy.
By the light.
Okay, interesting. That was a draw.
Bow to no one.
He does still have, is still like pretty confident he has back to back, but we can try to purify through whatever he's doing. Okay, so we saved that for a reasonable moment. I still don't want to make it rain when we're so close to getting the Sejuani going. And then I mean we should be.
Born for conquest.
No. If
Ride
we're worried about
onward.
back to back, then
Nothing escapes my notice.
let's just do
Track
this.
them down.
We're gonna do this. He's gonna He's going to block here. He's going to back-to-back both, and then we'll pop his Sejuani. Yep. So, oh, that's silence a follower. Oh, I fucked that up. I fucked this up, didn't I? Yeah. That's my bad. I'm in this hushed state of mind, and I thought we were going to be purifying this Lux. That was pretty bad.
No more holding back!
All right, let's find a way to recover.
Don't ask where it's from. Ask how much.
That's how you recover. You just draw your opponent's progress too.
This place
Oh
reeks
shit!
of
Don't even
foul
care about
magic.
these cards.
Rude.
Okay, I think
Ours
we should
is the
get
one true
one
light.
one blocker down, and then I want to progress stay. Okay, those are some cards. Those are some cards.
Welcome. Function call. Celebrate.
Alright, so let's just go ahead and deal with this. Sorry, Lux, they printed cards that are just spectacular. This can permanently eat a unit, but I don't. Oh, is he detaining his own Lux? That's fine. We have the Purify.
They grow up so fast.
Lights out.
What? He just did that backwards?
I will
Whoops.
keep us safe.
Whoopsies.
Pain is nothing. I've trained my whole life.
Love
for
seeing
this.
him spend all this mana. Okay.
Bristle, attack!
Gristle?
Stand strong!
Is that? Did she name her battleboard thing Gristle? Like that's
The winter's claw
like
endures!
the nasty like fatty parts on steaks. Oh man, that's kind of that's kind of an unfortunate name to be giving your battle bear. Okay. So I mean we're in a pretty commanding spot as long as we can. Oh, I think we're gonna just pop him right here. I want to make it rain while I'm guaranteed to get the Plunder, and then we're gonna Corsair. I think this double attack should be enough to take him out. This is better than Riptide Rex, right? Yeah, this is just so much more damage.
Their guilt is evident.
Nothing escapes my notice.
I'm a peddler, not a meddler.
Keep trying.
You look guilty.
Where are we at here? 17, 16. Okay, yeah, that was a lot of stuff. We were pretty far away from getting blown up by puff caps. Talk about high rolling. Just take all your opponent's good cards. We just drew everything. You can't say we went 100% high rolled, right? Because that mulligan at the beginning of the game was pretty terrible. But yeah, it was made up for. That's a fact. An interesting set here. I actually am kind of interested in this parlay, just to drive our curve down to get a little bit more of these Sejuani and Plunder kind of interactions. Gives us, an interactive thing to do. Well, we kind of did push our curve up quite a bit with the second Riptide Rex and the second Sejuani. Yeti is pretty good though. we haven't really lucked into any opening hand Yetis, but I think this is fine. Here I want to keep our ones, and I'd rather have an overwhelm than the Jaw Hunters. So I think that's pretty good. Right. We can't 7-0 this one. It's there. It's good. It's got the tools to do it. Start saying stuff like that, we'll just lose the next two. You gotta Bill Belichick it, boys. It's Bill Belichick for you non-football fans out there. Probably know who he is, anyways. Everybody knows who Tom Brady is, right? But I asked him, you know, if he this is a reasonable start. You know, he doesn't talk about playing a season of football as 17 games in the playoffs. It's 17 one-game seasons to Bill. And that's the way we got to look at all this stuff. You got to just focus on the match in front of you. Here, you know, he's not getting his bonus, and our opponent's not playing a unit, but I still want to be playing on curve. Pretty, you know, the hired gun is a touch of awkward here, but this lets us get in for 2, get the plunder, and then get our merchant going.
Unyielding light.
Sure.
Treasures of the ages for a price.
Tenacity through
All right, boys, I'm ready to block. Oh,
I'm
shit.
one of the good guys, but not that good.
We just keep running stuff out here? I think so.
Bless the faithful and sear the head.
We have all these choice units. Can't be awkward. Like if we want a hired gun and pop this, and then he hits it with Dragon's Protection. Okay, this is not adding units to the board. Like that's what we don't want to see right here. Is him just going wide and matching us. You know if he's absolutely beautiful.
The dragon will keep you safe.
If you know, kind of the extent of what he's able to do is just protect this one unit, then I'm all around pretty stoked with how that's going. And then here I'm just going. We can't attack with Miss Fortune, but I do want to put 3 damage onto the scales.
Don't let the fluffy tails fool you.
So that we can kill it with Make It Rain.
Punish transgressions. Follow the horizon.
If we lose both of these units, he has this at 1 health and he takes 3. I think this is still a pretty successful attack. Even better. Much success. They just released the new Borat trailer too. I don't know. I never have like an idea of like how old the crowd is that finds my videos useful. I had to hear so much of the word like huge success, and there's so many Borat quotes. It's like when the Rick James skit came out on the Chappelle Show. It's just you got to hear it over and over and over and over again. Here, I think this is fine. We're good to add this guy in. Don't care about taking this 5 damage here, however much this turns out to. We can just concussive palm something if we feel like it, but I think the way we want this to be going is nice. We're just taking this hit. We're banking this 3. We're going to Sejuani something. And then we can concussive palm if anything appears to go wrong. This seems like his most dangerous unit. Well, I guess technically his most dangerous unit is probably his elusive, but our life total is so healthy. This is the thing that's most likely to get out of hand, I think. And we'll see how this lines up. This interaction that I'm actually pretty interested in with Miss Fortune Sejuani is just being able to frostbite this thing and then hook it with Miss Fortune, which is what I believe we want to be doing here.
Time for violence.
And then if things go completely wrong somewhere, we still have this concussive palm to protect either our Sejuani that's close to flipping or our Miss Fortune that's providing a big set of value here.
Stand firm.
See how this goes. There is also a world where we just make it rain and hope for the best, right? If we pop his scales, his conspirator, and his priestess, then the make it rain will deal the 1 damage, and then the left tap will close them out before they get to do combat damage. But I think this leaves our board just too good to care about that kind of thing.
Now who's got the upper hand?
I think we, you know, we're super close to flipping Sejuani. We're super close to doing big things with Miss Fortune. I just don't think that's these are assets that we're willing to risk. We're also at this point to where we just have these 2 giant overwhelms that can close out the game. We're at this point where we just do Riptide Rex. That's always a fun point in the game. Okay.
Fight or die.
Move with purpose.
Oh, I don't want to do this with Miss. Well, we're gonna have to. Oh, we didn't need to do this. I had in my head earlier that we were gonna get this the Sejuani flip by using those, but
Face me.
it's not necessary anymore. There is a world where we do kind of want to spend this mana. I don't think this is gonna matter, but. What even happens if you play Riptide Rex when they don't have a unit? Okay. I guess we don't need to figure it out. They just take like 14 damage, right? They don't have to, you don't have to actually have units for Riptide Rex to hit, right? I don't play a whole lot of Constructed, and so I don't know. I'm sure you guys love playing your Riptide Rex Ezreal decks out there, but not something I'm really doing a lot of here. This is interesting. I do feel like we kind of have too many spells. I know 2 of our spells are Chum the Waters. So I think I'm kind of interested in picking up Mountain Goat. We just don't have a whole lot of 2s, right? We have like 3. We got the Merchant, the Hired Gun, and the Ruthless Raider. And so I'm cool picking up Mountain Goat. Simplest Vigor is pretty mediocre. Of note, the Mountain Goat also has 2 health now. We haven't been running into a whole lot of those like value 1 attack 1 cost units, that kind of the expedition plague of a lot of cards, but they've kind of pushed away from that, right? When it sucks so bad to just like your opponent plays Hapless Aristocrat and you're like, oh, I got this Mountain Goat never attacking with, like. I wonder if he started out Lulu Aurelian's Soul and then tried to get cute with the I don't know what people are calling this deck in Constructed. I knew this was going to be a thing. I didn't know it would turn out to be a thing in Constructed, but pairing off Lee Sin with the Targon thing that gives him Overwhelmed Zenith Blade. I was afraid that this was going to be the pretty powerful in Expeditions. But we'll have to see how it pans out. Like, I'd love to be able to draft Lee Sin, but like, this is we get. This is odd. Are we? I don't think we can. think I just want to get the 3 damage in, get extra gems. But no, it's like we discovered how good Lee Sin and Overwhelm was with this kind of absurd Kato the Arm deck that we drafted, and it was like that was the last time I've seen Lee Sin. That was probably like I can't even imagine how many expedition runs ago that was.
Fight or die.
Here, we want to play a 2. We've got the Pale Cascade. I want to be able to use it. And so we'll just bank up the spell mana here. We can add Miss Fortune this turn, and that gets us up to the banked 3. Taking a hit from this guy's not super scary here. Sure.
I'm one of the good guys, but not that good.
Bringing them both. Just want to do this.
I'll take everything.
See if we can get a trade. If we end up trading Pale Cascades here, I think we're okay with that. He kind of gets the better end of it on the attack side, but then question number 2 becomes: would we rather just make it rain this Crescent Guardian off the board? Getting this to 2 health doesn't really matter. I mean, all I can think is that there are a lot of just kind of like 1-drops or 1 health units in their deck. I can't tell if he just had some kind of awkward draw, or if he's really based more on Aurelion Soul that I'm giving it credit for. I think this is okay. I'm liking it less now, but I really want to attack with this Miss Fortune. All right, but we just have to pilfer. That's as good as it's gonna be here. 3, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'd make sure we weren't gonna overdraw with this. Not a bad pickup. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I love picking up our opponent's Sunburst after they just gave a unit in their hand +4/+4. It's not, or +3/+3. Feels pretty good. It's not like the juiciest unit to be hitting with it, but whatever.
Pain is nothing. Leave no survivors.
You can Pale Cascade our Sejuani. Okay. We want to go ahead and pop this off. Okay, I feel a little better about things. The Sunburst feels better now that we actually have board. I didn't want to just be in the spot where we just Sunburst his Jolt Protector and then we just don't have anything on the board. It's all in all pretty awkward. Yeah, we can't do this here either, right? We need to just we need to be making it rain. That's what we're going to be doing next turn, right? We're going to try to make it rain in Riptide Rex. Riptide Rex is terrible into this thing, though. This is okay. This is okay. Hang on. Let's just kill
The
this.
calm before the storm.
We'll recover with this Riptide Rex on our like 2 turns from now. He does have another big boy in his hand, which is kind of frightening, but like maybe we should just be slamming Sejuani into this stuff. But this ability is so powerful when he's just dropping these big monsters on us. Okay, well.
Bristle, attack!
Get him, Gristle. We can't just leave this on board. It's real easy for us to just lose the game with this thing happening.
Love ya.
Boy, that's scary. That's scary. Well, I guess we can play back-to-back Riptide Rexes. No, we're mana short of doing a back-to-back. Well, we can attack and then follow up with the next turn. But oh god, he's just going in, huh? Okay. As long as we're not dead to this, I don't like super care. Yeah, I think this is fine. We're gonna get a big open.
Only the strong survive.
Right, so we're doing this. We just gotta slam a bunch of damage onto this thing. Then we'll open. Get it for 14.
Enough stalling.
Tell him, Sejuani. Alright, open. Oh, snap.
Stand and fight.
I mean, he had the opportunity to try to trade with Sejuani. It was offered. This is double whimsy? That's still too short. Okay. Good game, friend.
Mwah.
Alright, let's get up in that final battle. And make the trades first. Okay. Battle Fury. I'm kind of interested, but I don't think it's ultimately necessary. I think our top end is fine in this deck. I still am kind of interested in this parlay for the Plunder interactions. I'm good with 3 Pilfered Goods. Here, I think I do want to trade Tayari for Chum the Waters. Just push our curve down. We don't have very many 2-drops, and so I'm kind of cool to pick those up. We can trade our 2-drops back out for the Sunburst, or we can pick up more top end. I can't play 3 8-drops. We'll just ignore the Mind Splitter. Having Riptide Rex is just better than the Mind Splitter in the art deck here, and just having 3 8s is too many. So we can skip over that one. I don't really want to get rid of this Make It Rain. And I feel like I should have 2 Sunbursts, but I think we just don't need it. I think we have enough late game interaction to be happy. Like, I tried to talk in the Leona deck yesterday where it was like, we'll have a lot of aggro decks where we're happy with 1 Sunburst. And then with Leona, we're happy to have up to 3. I feel like both of those are correct. I don't really like these just, blanket statements of I want, 3 sunbursts in my deck. I just don't think that's how things really are. So I think we're good to leave this. I'm just going to skip over this whole trade here. Okay, don't need Ravoon, you're trash. Troll Chant for Scrap Shot's kind of interesting. I am happy with the 1 sunburst and just getting this expensive out of here. And our highly aggressive deck seems pretty reasonable. It'll just help us get Miss Fortunes into combat as well. Okay, these look like skips. Not trading out of 2. Might be okay with a blessing, but not for a 1-drop. And then Morning Light doesn't play well here. Okay, want to keep our warning shots. I think I am happy with Black Market Merchant here. Just picking up a 2-drop. These invoke cards are pretty nice, but our deck is just more geared towards playing the value game off of something like Black Market Merchant. Okay, good double trouble. It's like I kind of am cool with 1 Yeti. It just depends on when you draw it, right? If we draw him on like turn 5, we're just gonna be like, this card sucks. But when it's in your opener, it's pretty good. Double trouble does make it pretty close. We're able to trade out 1 chum. We're gonna have 1 more trade. Yeah, I think I want to hang on to this and just have the 1 later game overwhelm. I think that's fine to keep. Don't want Cygnus. Okay, skip. Then here, the Troll Chant for the Merchant is interesting. None of these really feel like big upgrades, but I think I do want the Merchant. We got the 2 warning shots and such just to play so well with what we're doing. Especially, it would make me feel a lot better if we traded out the Yeti now if we knew we were going to pick up another Merchant, but I think this is okay. It's such a good 2-drop in here when you're playing, you're, dropping it, drawing a card, and then trading it out with a Miss Fortune for like a 3-drop or something. It feels real good, man. Okay, this could be scary. Our deck doesn't handle avalanches particularly well. These can handle. I still think this is interesting too. Is night warning shot as a way to activate Nightfall for the Crescent Guardian. Here, I think we just want units. Kind of tempted to try to swap him out, but this will be okay. Especially if he doesn't have a play here.
Never surrender! Where's the artillery?
Okay. Sure.
My selection speaks for itself.
Interesting. Did not expect a young witch to come out of this Trundle set of champions here. He hit, so he has something expensive in there. As they say, better lucky than good. It blows my mind how often people hit on this card. Jesus. Alright, well I think this is all we can really do. We can add Young Witch, play both of these next turn. See how things go from there. If we get avalanched, it's not the end of the world, but
Bless the faithful and see
it's not ideal, certainly.
Nice to meet you. Ha!
This way! Go! Send bubbles to Quill!
Okay, well, let's see how that goes. At least protect this thing from a Trundle. Okay, cool. I was hoping our black market merchant would survive so that we could get a little bit of value out of these pilfered goods. And here, this is just all going to be all about going wide and trying to crush through some damage. That combo, the Usgar on the cheap to deactivate our Troll Ravager. It's okay. It's not a huge deal. totally slamming a fully wide attack in next turn. If he had something like Troll Chant, he would have taken down our 6 attack Crescent Guardian. So I have to assume that he has like no Troll Chant, no Frostbite, no like 3 mana or less combat trick. He has to just have like a handful of units.
And here's where I'd paint my constellation.
I think I just want to bank three spell mana here. Like, what are we gonna do? Like, we have the option next turn of trying to Sejuani his Trundle, and then getting in a big overwhelm attack. Also, pretty content with parlaying this thing so it can't block. We have to assume that he's just going to be on like this plan of adding a big dude every turn. Oh god. Okay. I thought we were in the clear from the AoEs. Oh, that was the actual Trundle. I should have been prepared to play around those a little better.
Snow Sunder smash all the things!
It's not the end of the world. Oh, we must. I don't know if I think we messed that up or not. If we wanted to Sejuani his thing, I think this is okay. We can try it this way as well, with the parlay. I'm also not like completely opposed to just hooking Trundle with the Ravager and trying to get in for 5, but I have to assume that he's just going to have a follow-up unit here. Sure.
But I'm king!
Not super stoked with my sequencing in this run. So I was gonna say there's a good chance he just got another Trundle. That's okay. We've got some beefers that we can add to the board here. We can play Battle Scars as well.
Bow to no one.
Slightly unfortunate. Two pillars.
Break them!
See if he does anything. I doubt he'll do anything, but you can see. I usually don't recommend making attacks like that.
Your boots. It's good to be the king.
Okay.
The trolls are going to war! Win all! Yes, run! Wreck ice and flesh! Smashing!
Interesting. I want to just take this 5.
This is
Surprised he's just slamming Asgard in here. Have to cycle this out, but this also lets us draw from Pale Cascade. He just has to have like his own card here, right? Not always, not always. Oh, brutal. Brutal, that's savage for you, guy.
A game. Go on then.
the follow-up Sunburst? Okay, that's fine.
Trolls still win.
Get bloody, get paid.
We have to push through damage here. The idea of what I'll be doing here is you can safely play this. I'm gonna hook this with like Pull Shark. I'm gonna hook this with our next like smallest two. That's fine. And then see what we can get in from that point forward.
Littles crush easy.
Ready the torches.
Okay. Let's see what we pick up. There is a world where we can start doing cool stuff with the Sejuani and seeing how that goes, but I don't think it's gonna make itself apparent here. Not quite what we were looking for. Okay.
Make way for trolls.
Here. These out cards. It's fine.
I'm ready to take the
At this,
first
so
step.
we can flip our Sejuani. Like she's getting hooked. We can get her up. We can only get her up. We can get her up to 7. Or just 7.
Down.
That's a problem.
I was forged by winter.
We're at a Sejuani, so I wanted to oh, this thing has spell shield? Nah. We have to go about it this way. And see if we can't just get wider than him. I think we've probably lost this one. Shouldn't have. Oh, we're just dead. Oh, that's it. I thought his. I should have checked the eye. Hang on one second. That Sejuani gets the boost like after the attack happens, right? Hang on. Yeah, that was it. This is one of these least intuitive things I've ever seen. You know, you see this like 10 attack unit coming in. The attack has cleared. Oh, hang on. Never mind. This the dragon had overwhelm. Okay, were we just dead here? We could have put 5 in front of Trundle, and then we'd have taken 3 plus 5 at 8. Yeah, we could have survived. So we messed this up. I did a couple things here. I shouldn't have played this warning shot. I popped it off. I guess we did still have another Sejuani in our deck. That doesn't seem right, though. This was our second one. But I popped off the warning shot because I wanted our Sejuani to flip. I guess we didn't even have to do that. I've gotten it kind of in my head that there's a lot of champions that have to see things, and if you get your champion to flip with the like a see things thing to flip, then you know, your future ones are flipped and you don't miss out on all this work that you've done. Shouldn't have warning shot here because we could still potentially win this game with our 2 Riptide Rexes. We could also win with double up. We had outs here, but I missed that this dragon thing had overwhelm from the augur, and so I should have checked the eye. That was lazy. That's unfortunate. We just got popped at that spot. But nonetheless, a little sloppy for 7, a game 7 for a deck that was pretty good. But I was pretty happy with how this all turned out. Sloppiness at the end aside, um, I think we approached this pretty well. Looking at this Sejuani Miss Fortune, the you know uh, with I guess technically, with how this run started out, if you were just shooting for 7, you would have taken Lucian. But Sejuani is more than capable of getting to 7 on her own, and pairing it up with Miss Fortune, I thought was pretty good. It leaves us with a lot of open options, right? You can kind of move to the raiding party thing that Sejuani likes to do, or you can kind of do what we did. Try to push your deck to be a little bit more aggressive with the Miss Fortune side, but then those still pair off pretty well with Sejuani. I don't have a whole lot to say in the recap because I feel like I kind of like touched this in force at the beginning of the run. But I liked a lot of what we did here. We skipped on that 8-cost Riptide Rex thing at the end. If we would look at this again, like I would be okay to pull out Ancient Yeti. I'd be okay to pull out Citrus Courier and Chum the Waters just for some cheaper cards. But um, all in all, because we didn't really know that we were going to finish with 3 merchants and 3 pilfered goods. Because the way I do really prefer a lot of these top end kind of decks to go is to have the the pilfered goods just draw the cards out of our opponent's deck. It did it to a degree in that last game. We did pull out his Usgar, which was threatening to do a lot of work. It's just we fell a little bit short there at the end. And so yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I thought it was interesting to see. Like I knew this was a thing to where Mighty Poro was just straight worse than Crescent Guardian, but it's hard to see it until you put them both side by side in the same deck. But yeah, I think to skip over the typical like deck construction things I try to talk about with these, I think I'm just going to call out what I think to be the mistakes here were. I think we probably should have gotten rid of this Ancient Yeti given the chance. I think we should have picked up the second Sunburst. I don't know if I was giving our deck too much credit for like how aggressive I thought it was before compared to how much it actually was. I don't think that's the case. I mean, we have like 8 1-drops. This says 9. We have 2 spells, so we have 7. We picked up a lot of black market merchant here's in the 2s. I don't know. This is just it's tough for me. Like I speak this blasphemy a lot as somebody that's drafted Magic for potentially longer than you, the listener, have been alive, and it just sounds like blasphemy whenever I hear myself say, I don't want another removal spell. Like it's just the way it is in Magic, right? And I think that should apply here, and maybe I'm not valuing Sunburst as highly as I should. I do kind of like tier out some of these things. Like you can easily find like if we're going to use the Magic references, like if you just want to say like generic 3/3 flyer for 5 mana, like how many of those are you willing to play in your deck? It's a pretty good card. Like, and some formats that is like an extremely good card, or even just say Sarah Angel, right? Sarah Angel's always spectacular in limited. If Sarah Angel isn't spectacular in a limited format, it is probably an abysmal format to be playing. But are you playing 4? No. Are you playing 3? 3's kind of a lot. 2 you'd certainly be happy with, and so maybe that's kind of where I need to be looking at Sunburst is like, well, 2 is probably what we're happy with, as opposed to just 1. It's just I'm trying to compare this to like all the Vengeances I've played in Expedition, and like with Vengeance, I'm happy with 1 as opposed to 2, but it does cost 1 more mana, and so I don't know. Nonetheless, I was pretty happy with how this panned out. I thought we started off the draft well. We analyzed the draft well. We'll call that round 7 loss there on me. I got a little sloppy there at the end and didn't play to our percentages because we definitely could have top decked our way out of that game there at the end. I just didn't realize I wasn't going to die. I was going to die by not blocking that Sejuani, and so got a little sloppy, a little spewy. Whenever we call out that our opponents are getting a little spewy, that's hopefully what dude we just played said in his head there. Looks like free to play bust is getting a little spewy in this one. But nonetheless, that's gonna do it for this run. I think these rewards here are the only ones we have. Ooh, a champion capsule. I was like, it's just gonna be the wild cards. It's gonna be the wild card chest. Nah, it's not. Pick up this Nocturne here. Not a bad day. Well, I had fun with this run. I did kind of punt at the end, but had fun nonetheless. Hope you guys enjoyed the run as well. Learned a bit from my mistakes, and used my wonderful advice to learn as well. Not just from my mistakes, some bonus knowledge in there as well. But that's going to do it. I thank you guys for being here. This is Free to Play Bust.